Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing update 3.0.0 for Armored Aces, which is in my opinion one of the worst updates that has ever happened to this game. I'm going to leave the gameplay footage raw and unedited so you can see exactly how bad this update is and what it's done to the game. We'll start off taking a look at some of the glitches. So in this coming clip, you'll be able to see my tank moving in the 10-second countdown back and forth. You can completely spin the tank around, but you cannot move forward in reverse. I'm not sure if it's a bug or a glitch, but either way, it's not exactly the best thing, and the developers should probably fix this. As you can see, I'm using armor and also shell boost, and that's just purely because the update with the fire suppression system and the extinguisher. Every match I seem to get set on fire, and I was getting really angry and annoyed at this, so I put on the level 3 armor with the fire extinguisher. It helps, and I'm just using the basic shell boost to get more damage because I can't seem to get near anyone to shoot them anymore. Tanks are very slow. It's basically turned modern era into World War II, and I really am not enjoying it. So here we can take a look at some of the graphics, and you can see they have changed the smoke effect for the exhaust on the tanks. I think it looks pretty good. Some players may not agree with me, but in my opinion it looks good. And also behind the tanks, which you will see in other clips, there's now a road dust trail, which really gives away your position pretty easily because it is taller than the tank a lot of times, and it's actually kind of helpful for shooting people. Another effect that they added that I really liked is the recoil effect, and when you shoot, the tank will sort of bounce backwards like it does in real life, and also the gun reticle, if you're in scope mode, will move upwards. They've also changed basically the skins or the graphics on the tanks. Some of the tanks look a lot better in my opinion, like the Super Pershing, but then there's others like the M1A1 Abrams Ace and also the M1 Abrams. They just don't look good. They look like you just took a white paintbrush and just painted wherever you wanted all over them. I think if they were reset, players would like them more back to where they were. Just a few more things I'd like to cover with the graphics and effects section. One being, if you reverse your tank into water, I have not seen this on forward yet, but I haven't really looked for it. It makes a splash sound now, which you will see later on in the video. I'll test it out a little with the Super Pershing. And also, you can hear the brakes squeak when the tank stops, which is kind of a pointless thing, but it's pretty good, not gonna lie. And that's about it for the graphics and effects portion of this video. So now let's move on and take a look at some of the physics. I'm not a very big fan of the redone physics due to the fact that it takes away a lot of the fun value of the game. And for me, the reason I played it more than World of Tanks Blitz was because the tanks, yes, they did move a little unrealistically, but it was very fun to send tanks launching into the air or be able to snap turn your tank and get around and have dogfights and stuff. And with the new physics, none of this is possible. The tanks generally feel like they're lacking power, and in the case of a real tank, your tank is usually not lacking power. For some of the tanks like the T-28 Super Heavy and the A-39 Tortoise, yes, you might actually feel the power lacking in the engine when you're going up hills and stuff, but most other tanks it's not as big of an issue. And as for this game, it feels like every tank now, except for a few that are lighter, it feels like their engine just does not keep up all the time, and you come sliding back down hills that you were once able to climb. And also, the starting and stopping is very slow, especially at the physics I've noticed the most that are changed are the Abrams, and it feels like you're driving in on ice a lot of times. You'll slide down hills and other things like that, and also it's very slow to start and stop. I mean, the real Abrams is a little slow to start and stop, but it's nothing like the one they have in the game now. The developers could leave the acceleration alone if they liked that, but I think you could add some more power to the tanks. If any of them are watching, please add power to tanks. It does not feel like a tank anymore. It feels like an overloaded minivan. The snap turn ability is completely taken away, and this is one of the features that I really enjoyed in the game, especially playing for RDX. That's our characteristic style, is go up to you and dogfight you, and then come around back, flip you over, maybe have some fun basically. And the run and gun style is gone because the tanks, first of all, they aren't as fast as they were, so there's no point running. And then you can't really get behind people and move your tank around fast enough anymore. You have to stop and then turn, or turn as you're moving, but that's slow too. So it's more of turned the modern era into a sniper's match versus the old modern experience where you actually had enough health that you could make pushes and rush and things like that, and it was very fun. The World War II tank physics have not changed as nearly as much as the ones in the modern era, and it still feels like pretty much the old World War II game we had before, except for the tanks are a little slower, and you cannot really get around the back of a T-28 with a common anymore. They've also taken away, obviously, the snap turn ability for those tanks too. It's not just the modern era ones. Theoretically, with the way this new update is looking, because the tanks are slower, the heavy tanks should dominate the battlefield. But I've been having good luck with the super Pershing because the physics have not changed as much on it as the other tanks, and it's still just as fun as it was. The controls seem a little less responsive, and it's been a little frustrating in some situations to play with the new controls, but I think in time I'll get used to them, and there's nothing that really needs to be changed with those. If you're having trouble, just turn your aiming sensitivity up and turn the joystick button on if you don't already have it on, because it's really a help. That's about all my advice for the developers on how to fix the physics. If you have any other ideas, put them in the comment section below and I might make a part 2 to this video. Now let's take a look at some other miscellaneous lagging and glitches I've experienced. Throughout this video, especially in the World War II games I will be playing, you will definitely see my tank seems to jump or start and stop a lot, and it's because of lag. And it's very frustrating to play with because the tanks, they seem to jump, and especially if you have one scoped out and then you take the shot and the tank's just not there anymore. It's kind of annoying. I think this has to do with the advanced graphics, but I have a good device. I play on an iPhone 7. It should not be an issue at all, but apparently it is. The other glitch that I have seen is you cannot exit a game or go back to the lobby. And I'm not sure if this is just a bug on this one single game I play or it's every game, but towards the end of the video you'll see me pressing the I want to go back to the lobby button and hitting OK, and it will not let me out of the game. And then at the very end, when the last tank is destroyed, finally it will show me the screen of where you get results and coins and things, but it only shows me because I tried to leave the match. And that is about it for this section of the video. The next thing I'm going to look at is just some of the community comments and complaints that I've been seeing around that maybe could help the developers fix it. Many of the old Armored Aces vets that have been playing for 4 years like myself or a little longer, they have left the game because they're just not happy. It's not the same Armored Aces that they started with, and that's the reason they like to play it. And they kind of figure if we're going to play this realistic version, maybe we should consider like World Tanks Blitz or something that's always had the same physics invented. Not many people like the new slow tanks, so I think that's the main complaint, is just the tanks are very slow, especially the acceleration problem and the snap turning issue. It's kind of taken away a lot of the fun in modern era. Many people are complaining that they are going to uninstall the game and other things like this. So it just shows that players aren't really too happy with the physics. I think a support patch in the coming few weeks would be definitely a good thing to see. Something that fixes the bugs that have been found in the game and restores the physics to the previous version while keeping the graphics and other things that we have received in this update. While on the topic of community, I'm going to voice some of the other opinions I've seen that really do not happen to be with this update, but it's just for the game in general. The main thing I've been seeing complaints about is the bad matchmaking, and I have had problems with this myself. It's where you go into a game and maybe the other team has 3 players and 3 bots, and your team is you and 5 bots, and you cannot win a 1-on-3 no matter how hard you try, because the other team just takes you out right away. Also, the players have been looking for larger tanks like the M1A2 SEP V3 or a Tier 10 tank in Modern. Also, maybe some other tanks in World War II, like a Tier 9 for World War II. We're kind of getting a little tired of these small tanks every update. Nojo1099 from Sword made a similar video to this last night on some of the problems he's encountered and some complaints he's had. If you want to check him out, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description and a video link. And the last comment I have for the developers, and something that I really think needs to get fixed, is the hacked accounts. Because there's plenty of brigades made up of pretty much fully hacked accounts, and these brigades need to be disbanded or fixed because it's not fair to the people who actually pay money to the developers and work hard and get their coins like me legally. I don't get my coins through hacking. To the players, my recommendation for tanks are the A39, IS-2, and Super Pershing for World War II. All the other tanks have changed enough that I think they're not as much fun as they were, but these tanks have not changed much, and I like playing them. For modern era, all the tanks have changed. I can't really help you there. It's really a play style choice. I've been having some pretty good luck with the Tegil Ace, using it as a sniper, and that's worked pretty well. Though I do play like a complete noob now because my style, basically the RDX style, is just, it's not there anymore. Thanks for sticking around and watching the video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I will let you watch the rest of the gameplay with no commentary over it, so you can just see what's going on for yourself in this update.
sighted. Our tank is in critical condition. Enemy sighted. Enemy sighted. Enemy sighted.